Hello, a very good evening. Welcome to the Mega News at 6 on MBN TV. We're coming to you live from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Great Estate, Nungwa at Dogono. We're also live across all our social media handles on MBN 360. Well, let's take a look at the headlines.
Minority demands postponement of vetting for Supreme Court nominees. In business, Ghana cuts capital spending by 38% below budget. And on the international front, more than 350 killed in Nepal as rising lake raises fear of new flood.
This and many other stories will bring you business, sports, and entertainment updates as well. But before we settle for the details of the story, let's turn around and come back. My name is El Samuels. We settle for the details of the story. Ghana's minority in parliament is calling for immediate postponement of the vetting of President John Mahama's nominees to the Supreme Court.
The minority in parliament has demanded the postponement of the vetting of President John Mahama's Supreme Court nominees, insisting the process must not continue while the matter is before the courts. Minority leaders say proceeding with the vetting could undermine the judicial process and prejudice a pending constitutional case challenging the nominations. The Appointments Committee is expected to begin vetting the nominees as scheduled, but the minority says Parliament should wait for the Supreme Court's ruling before taking any further action. The governing National Democratic Congress has defended the nominations, maintaining that the president acted within his constitutional powers and that Parliament has a duty to carry out its oversight rule. The dispute sets the stage for another legal and political contest over appointments to Ghana's highest court, as attention now turns to both Parliament and the Supreme Court.
Still, we repeat our offer in good faith. We are ready to vet the two ministerial nominees fairly and promptly. We will not accept what we will not accept is the three Supreme Court nominees being rushed through as though the court cannot function another week without them. And ladies and gentlemen of the press, let me break something down. We are in the month of August. We have the whole of September. Committees can even work when the House is not sitting. So if the 2 weeks is dealt with, the committee can still come in September, somewhere in the second week of September, and vet these nominees. We can get our report done, and when Parliament resumes in October, still pass them or take a decision on them before the legal year begins. So why the rush? Again, we see the NDC government breaking its own promise. When this government got into office in a commanding majority in this house, its own leaders stood before Ghana and promised restraint. They promised the country they would not abuse the numbers the people have given them. That promise did not survive long. It has been tested and broken again and again. Since this government took its seat, what the majority is pressing to do with these three Supreme Court nominations is not a new departure. It is simply the latest chapter in the broken promises. And it is a terrible culture that must end. It betrays the mandate of the Ghanaian people. A majority that keeps finding new ways to bend the rules to its convenience should not be surprised when the country stops believing its next promise of restraint.
Now, moving on, the Minister Designate for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation says Ghana's fight against illegal mining known as Galamsey requires coordinated action across government institutions.
The fight against illegal mining in Ghana will require a coordinated approach across government, according to the Minister Designate for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. She says the scale of the Galamsey problem means no single ministry or state agency can tackle it alone. The Minister Designate says governments must strengthen collaboration among institutions responsible for environmental protection, mining regulation, law enforcement, and local governance. She also stressed the need for sustained enforcement and practical measures to protect Ghana's forests and water bodies. Her comments come amid renewed concerns over the environmental damage caused by illegal mining and growing calls for a more effective national response. The government has been under pressure to ensure that measures against Galamsey produce lasting results rather than short-term interventions. The minister-designate says a unified and sustained government effort will be critical to winning the fight.
The fight against illegal mining and the subsequent damage it does to the environment and human life are an all of government and all of society imperative. And I do believe that the easiest way to address it is to have effective coordination between the ministries, departments, and agencies. And as you rightly pointed out, all of these activities are happening within the local governance space. And we have the decentralized EPA and all these agencies at that level as well. The regular reporting improves on transparency. It also helps us to track to what extent that to what extent interventions are making an impact. I believe that to start with, what I would want to do would be to sit with, should I get the approval from this committee and from the House, would be to sit with the relevant ministers of the coordinating of the relevant ministers of the various ministries that have an interest in the Galamsey fight, which would range from the lands as well as the local government.
Meanwhile, Ghana's majority leader, Mama Yariga, says the idea behind the National Cathedral was worth it, whilst criticizing the way the project was implemented.
Ghana's majority leader, Mahama Yariga, says the National Cathedral was a good idea but was badly implemented. He says the concept of establishing a national Christian monument had merit, but concerns surrounding its execution have undermined the project. The National Cathedral project, initiated under the previous government, has faced scrutiny over its financing, construction, and management. The project has also become a subject of political debate, with the government reviewing how public funds were committed to it. Mr. Yariga says the focus should now be on ensuring accountability and determining the best way forward for the project. The comments come as the debate over the future of the National Cathedral continues amid questions over the millions of cedis already spent on its construction.
The idea of having a national cathedral is, in my opinion, a wonderful, exciting idea. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a national cathedral for the Christian community in our country. If you are asking specifically about the National Cathedral that President Nana Akufo-Addo, when he was president, initiated, I also don't think there's any problem with the idea. I think it was a good idea that was badly executed. Otherwise, I don't think there's a problem with having a national cathedral. I personally had issues with the location. I thought that the location would rather just increase the traffic congestion in that neighborhood. And I also felt that it wasn't the best idea that, given the availability of a lot of land by the ocean, that we hadn't elected to use those lands that were free, and then we pull down bungalows. The second issue is also that I believe that we should have mobilized a lot of private and philanthropical support for the construction. And that also, I think, was a shortfalling of the entire project. But if I am approved by this House and I become the minister responsible for chieftaincy affairs, I will engage the leadership of the Christian community in this country. And I want to assure you that if they remain committed to the construction of a national cathedral, I will engage the president, and if it is the wish of the president, I will wholeheartedly support and mobilize for the project to be continued and, God willing, completed.
Away from the vetting committee, the criminal case involving businessman and former Ashanti Regional NPP chairman Bernard Ntwi-Boseaku, popularly known as Wontumi, over alleged financial offences involving the Exim Bank is set to proceed after plea bargaining talks failed.
Plea bargaining talks between the state and businessman Bernard Ntwi-Boseaku, popularly known as Wontumi, have failed. The development means the case involving alleged financial offences linked to the Ghana Export-Import Bank, Exim Bank, will proceed through the normal court process. The prosecution and the defense had been exploring a possible resolution through plea bargaining. However, with the negotiations unsuccessful, the court is expected to continue hearing the case. Wontumi, who is also a former Ashanti Regional Minister of the New Patriotic Party, has denied wrongdoing. The case forms part of ongoing efforts by the authorities to investigate alleged financial irregularities involving state institutions. The court will now determine the next steps in the proceedings.
Now, turning our attention from the courts, there's a growing discontent in the Upper West region following the reshuffle of Dr. Rashid Purple, with residents and some local stakeholders calling for the region to be given a cabinet position.
Residents in Ghana's Upper West region have expressed concern over the reshuffle of Dr. Abdul Rashid Purple. The minister, who has been moved from his previous portfolio, has been a prominent representative of the region in government. Some residents and stakeholders say the reshuffle has raised questions about the region's representation at the highest level of government. They are calling on President John Mahama to consider giving the Upper West region a cabinet-level position. Supporters of the demand argue that the region deserves stronger representation in government, particularly on decisions affecting its development. But the reshuffle remains a prerogative of the president, who has defended changes to his ministerial team as part of efforts to improve government's performance. The calls from the Upper West region add to the wider public debate over political representation and the distribution of key government positions.
And some of us have issued our problems to him. Now that they have reshuffled and removed him, how are we going to manage it? He's supposed to help us through our difficulties, and some of us are well educated, and he promised us certain steps of life. Now that they have reshuffled him, a lot of mistakes are going to be made in the system.
We are expecting some development from him. As he's no more there, meaning we can't get it again. That's why we are not happy.
For now, I don't think I'll get a job without our minister. Because if there is not a leader in a state or in the region like this, for instance, I don't think there will be anything in progress for us.
We are not happy about the reshuffle that he has done. So we will pray God willing, President Mahama should give him the position back for the receipt people, for us to also have something in the labor and the employment of.
We don't understand what they are trying to do and what they are planning for the system. But to us, we don't understand the minister that they have appointed him with. What we will plead is for him to come back and take the lead as where he left us. Because now we are stranded, we don't know what to do. We just want him back to come and take the track on. He knows the fuel level of his track, and he knows where the GS are all going. He should just come and take the steer back. That is what we are just pleading for us.
Now let's move away from the Upper West region and do some bit of politics, where the former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, has formally filed his nomination to contest the party's national chairmanship position.
Former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, has filed his nomination to contest the party's national chairman position. His decision adds another prominent name to the race for the leadership position as the NPP prepares for its internal elections. Mr. Boadu, a former chief executive of the Ghana Cocoa Board, has served in several leadership roles within the party. He is expected to campaign on his experience within the NPP and his understanding of the party's organizational structures. The national chairman election will form part of the party's wider efforts to reorganize its leadership and strengthen its structures ahead of the next general election. Other aspirants are also expected to submit their nominations as the contest gathers momentum.
And those are the major top stories making headlines tonight. And now from the news desk, we turn to our attention to the business sector, where the economy, market, and the key development continue to shape the national conversation. For the latest business update, Najama Odote is standing by right after the break with the details.
Let me introduce you to Farm Global Company Limited. At Farm Global, we offer you a variety of groceries and provisions to choose from. Cosmetics, perfume, bed sheets, undies, boxes, you can mention all. This is our perfume stand, and we have variety of perfumes you can choose from for yourself and your loved ones. We cover Latapa, fragrance malt, and quality perfumes that will last long on your body. On our cosmetic section, we have variety of lotions, creams, hair pomade that can keep you going. Let your feet do the talking and your hand do the showcasing. Your babies are not left out. We got you covered. At Farm Global, we make shopping a beautiful experience for you and your family. You can be at home, send your list, and get it delivered for free. Yes, for free. We know you can pay for it, but we want to show appreciation. We bring everything to you at your doorstep. Locate Farm Global on the Nungwabuade Road, just opposite Redeemer Chemist. Call us on 0592 0999 52 or 050 384 3633. Farm Global, fast, reliable, and convenient.
Welcome back from that break. Now in business, my name is Najama Odote. Ghana's capital expenditure has fallen 38% below the budgeted amount, raising concerns about the pace of government investment in infrastructure and development projects.
Ghana's capital spending has been recorded at 38% below the amount budgeted by government. The reduction means less money has been spent on development projects and infrastructure than originally planned. Capital expenditure is a key component of government spending, covering investments such as roads, schools, hospitals, and other public infrastructure. The figures are likely to fuel debate over the government's fiscal position and its ability to deliver planned development projects while managing public finances. Government has been under pressure to control expenditure, improve efficiency, and maintain fiscal discipline. But analysts say sustained reduction in capital spending could affect infrastructure delivery and economic growth if investment levels remain below expectations. The government is expected to outline measures to balance fiscal consolidation with the need for continued investment in critical infrastructure.
Also, the Bank of Ghana is turning to artificial intelligence to strengthen its ability to forecast inflation and support monetary policy decisions.
The Bank of Ghana is adopting artificial intelligence as part of efforts to improve inflation forecasting. The move is aimed at helping the central bank analyze large volumes of economic data and identify trends that could influence future price developments. More accurate forecasts could support the bank's monetary policy decisions, particularly as it works to keep inflation under control. The use of AI is also expected to complement existing economic models and forecasting tools used by the central bank. The Bank of Ghana has forced pressures to strengthen its forecasting capacity amid recent economic volatility and changes in inflationary pressures. Officials say technology can improve the speed and quality of analysis, but economic judgment will remain important in interpreting the data. The initiative forms part of wider efforts by the central bank to modernize its operations and strengthen evidence-based monetary policy.
That will be all for the business segment. Up next is sports and entertainment with Nadede Gogo.
Okay, well, there's some local fast. Papa, me again. Let's go, Yale. Me quite remember who hear me. Meant me sent my friend doctor when I'm crossing over. See what we swear. She has malaria. Malaria. Oh, what they say with the router? Me copy the absence. A drone a friend router mixer. Yeah, come on, let it draw. And running some Gap trap and the draw abaso body assay. Wabo Ruta mixture abaso. Ruta natural products and one Ruta mixture. Yeah, you could see a treat. Ruta tonic and the Ruta life one. And who a finish like the bunny, a finipedium. NASA support the immune system. Ruta de Obiasia, FDA, I did the crap to you too.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching Mega News at 6 p.m. right here on MBN TV. My name is Nadede Gogo. In sports, a FIFA licensed football agent has revealed why he advised a Libyan club not to sign Ghana's captain Jordan Ayew, citing concerns surrounding the proposed move.
A FIFA licensed football agent has revealed why he advised a Libyan club against signing Ghana captain Jordan Ayew. The agent says his advice was based on concerns he had about the proposed transfers and whether the move would be in the player's best interest. Jordan Ayew remains one of Ghana's most experienced international players, having enjoyed a long career in European football. The revelation has sparked discussions about the factors players and clubs consider when negotiating factors, including level of competition, financial terms, and career development. The agent has not ruled out future opportunities for the Ghana captain, but says the circumstances surrounding the Libyan proposal were not favorable.
In entertainment, Ghanaian dancehall star Shatta Wale has announced a series of concerts scheduled for September, promising fans a month of live music and entertainment.
Ghanaian dancehall musician Shatta Wale has announced a series of concerts for September as he prepares to connect with fans through live performances. The artist says the event will give members of the SM fan base an opportunity to experience his music in a live setting. The September concerts are expected to feature performances from Shatta Wale alongside other artists and entertainment acts. The announcement comes as Ghana's entertainment industry prepares for a busy period of concerts and music events. Shatta Wale remains one of Ghana's most prominent dancehall artists with large following both locally and internationally. Fans are now looking forward for the details of the venue, dates, and other performers expected to join the September concert series.
That's all for sports and entertainment. Up next is the foreign news with Elsa Moss.
MBN Jasu nie from Ejahima. Sawupa sawuba MBN Jasu from 0245 88 2128. MBN Jasu come home na yendi eja at the right place.
Welcome back from the business, sports, and entertainment desk. Now we turn our attention to the foreign front, where more than 350 people have been killed in Naples after severe flooding, with authorities warning of further danger as water levels in a mountain lake continues to rise.
More than 350 people have been killed in Nepal following devastating floods and landslides. Rescue teams are searching for survivors, while hundreds of people are still reported missing in some of the worst hit areas. Authorities are now facing a fresh threat as water levels in a mountain lake rise, raising fears of another major flood. Communities living downstream have been warned to remain alert as emergency teams monitor the situation. The flooding has damaged homes, roads, and other critical infrastructure, disrupting transport and leaving thousands of people in need of assistance. Officials say rescue and relief operations are continuing, but difficult terrain and damaged roads are making access to some areas challenging. The disaster comes as Nepal continues to face the effect of increasingly severe weather events during the monsoon season. A Zambian opposition leader has been questioned by police, according to the country's state media. The opposition figure was reportedly questioned as part of an ongoing investigation, although authorities have not publicly provided full details of the matter. The development comes amid heightened political tensions in Zambia, with opposition parties increasingly criticizing the government's handling of political and legal affairs. The opposition has previously raised concerns about what it describes as increasing pressure on political opponents. Government officials, however, have maintained that law enforcement agencies are acting within the law and that investigations are not politically motivated. The latest questioning is expected to attract further attention from opposition parties and civil society groups.
And that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of the Mega News on MBN TV. But before we take leave of you, let's take a second look at the stories making headlines.
Minority demands postponement of vetting for Supreme Court nominees. In business, Ghana cuts capital spending by 38% below budget. And on the international front, more than 350 killed in Nepal as rising lake raises fear of new flood.
Thanks for staying with us. Make a date, same time tomorrow. We'll come your way with more of the news. Business was brought to you by Najama Odote. Sports and entertainment with Nadede Gogo. My name is El Samuels. Good evening.